Hi, my name is Rob Dominguez and I'm the Director of Education Technology from the Altamont School in Birmingham, Alabama. This video is a walkthrough for a presentation that we're doing at ISTE 2019 called Building Bots with Microsoft Teams. If you're at the conference and you'd like to attend, it's going to be Tuesday, June 25th at 12:15 in the afternoon. I'll be up there with Ryan James, a computer science teacher from the school as well, and we're in room 120 BC. The workshop itself, or the snapshot, will go through a lot more detail and provide some examples of how our bot works in particular. But we know that a lot of people want to be able to leave these sessions with the actual ability to do what it is that we talk about during them. So with that in mind, we built this walkthrough, which shouldn't take any longer than about 5 minutes. And honestly, with some of the lines that we all had to wait in for these great sessions that we have at these conferences, you really could get a bot up and running and deployed, at least for testing, very quickly. So let's go ahead and jump into it. The workflow, or the stack, that we'll be looking at for today is going to cover 5 pieces of software. To begin with, we're going to look at Microsoft Azure for hosting our bot and our services. We'll look at the bot framework itself. We're kind of using templated solutions that allow us to easily go ahead and get something up and running. We're going to be using Node.js. So real quick, I'm going to jump over here, and I've got Node's kind of About Us section open here. If you haven't seen Node before, it's a really great JavaScript runtime. It's a good framework that allows us to be able to write back-end and front-end code in JavaScript. So really powerful stuff and worth checking out. The other option for building a bot would be C# using .NET, but because we teach JavaScript in the school to students, we decided to go ahead and use this as our framework for building this bot. You can also use Visual Studio Code. It's got great extensions for Azure. If you want to use this as your text editor, it allows just easy deployment of whatever code you write and test locally to be pushed for development and production online. And then finally, of course, because Microsoft Teams has been exploding, we've been really excited about it since it first came out, but we're seeing even more use cases now for our students and our faculty. We're going to use this as our vehicle for delivering this content to our end users. So to begin with, let's go ahead and actually jump into the video itself. Or excuse me, the actual hosting of everything. So where I've gone to is just my Azure portal. You can see there's a lot of information on here, and if you're not used to how this works, it can be a bit overwhelming. But there's this great option up here at the top. I'm just going to go ahead and type in the word bot, and then bot services comes up, so I'm going to go ahead and give that a click. You can see I've already got one provision down here for ISTE 2019, just as an example. If you haven't really ever set up Azure before, it's going to ask you what subscriptions you want to put things under. You can set up a pay-as-you-go option that has a free development server. It's pretty straightforward to get set up in terms of going ahead and figuring out the configurations, but definitely great to go ahead and get your feet wet. So I would definitely recommend checking that out. I'm going to go over here to where it says Add to start a new resource. And I get 3 options. We're going to choose the first one, which is just a web app bot. And I'll go ahead and click Create. It's going to ask me for a bot name, so I'm going to call this Testing Bot 2019. And then I've got my subscription that I've already signed up for, pay as you go right here. For a resource group, this would have been provisioned generally before, but I'm going to go ahead and do this one called ISTE Prep. I'm going to change the pricing down here to this F0 tier instead of the S1 tier. That just allows me 10,000 messages, at least theoretically, for free. Where it says bot template, we're going to come in here, we're going to change this to Node.js, and I'm going to choose EchoBot. So like it says down here, it's just going to be a bot built on Node that echoes back whatever the user messages it. So I'm going to click OK. And then we'll turn this off for right now. I wanted to go ahead and automatically create an app ID and a password for me, so I'll click Create right here. It's going to validate all the information that I have over here on the right hand, or on the left hand side, and then on the right hand side it's going to let me know that my development, or my deployment rather, is in progress. This can take a little bit of time, so I'm going to pause the video, and when we come back to it, it should be live. So we just got this little message over here, and that took about 3 or 4 minutes probably, but I'll go back to it. My notifications here lets me know that the deployment succeeded. So if I go ahead and click this to go to the resource, I'll say OK, and we can not have to worry about dismissing that apparently. But over here is going to give us our options, and these options that we have down here for the resources are pretty similar to what we have over here on this sidebar. To begin with, I'm just going to go to Test and Web Chat, and this is going to be a mechanism for allowing us to go ahead and test the actual bot itself. So when I type in the message hi down here, it's going to give me a message saying, hey, you joined the chat, well done, and then it's going to echo back what I said because this is called the Echo Bot. So if I go ahead and send that, hello and welcome, and then you said hi. If we go into this option here for build, I could click here and I could download a zip file of the bot source code, and then I could go ahead and edit that locally on my machine. I could test it using the bot emulator framework if I wanted to, and then when I have things ready into my liking, I can actually go ahead and deploy that to the cloud, and it'll be accessible from any team that I've connected it to. Alternatively, we can actually do quick edits by clicking on this button down here and opening this online code editor. What this is going to look like is going to be a version of Visual Studio Code in the cloud or in your browser. Let's see, I'm going to quickly change this to the dark theme. And then if I look over here on the left-hand side with all my files that I have, I'm going to go to bot.js. So if we remember, and I'll take this back to the web chat. If I say hi, again, it's going to welcome me, and then it's going to echo back my message to me. So if I come back over here, I can see that inside of this function that I have, it says you said, and then we have this context.activity.text. That's going to be the actual message that was sent to the bot itself. If I wanted to go ahead and edit this just to kind of change things around a little bit, I could say you said something to me. We see that it's saved up there automatically, so if I come back, I'll give this a refresh. And then we'll say hello. And I should still get that welcome message, but then I should get something different instead of just echoing down what I said for hello. So it says you said something to me. So remember, that's the change that we made right here. This is kind of the endpoint for all the different things that you could do with the bot itself. We could generate new files over here. They could have functions within them. We used a couple of JSON files that would allow us to go ahead and create start and end times for the classes. And then we would essentially import those and run those functions down here whenever certain messages were called using keywords. The last thing that we like to do is not only see this in web chat, but see what it looks like if it was inside of Microsoft Teams. So if I come down here to channels, I see that web chat's already running, but I have these different options down here. So there's lots of choices that we have for how to get this bot out there and available. So if your school uses something different for whatever reason, like let's say you guys use GroupMe to communicate with students or with teams or with clubs, this could be an option for getting information out to end users. Instead, we're just going to go with Teams right here. I'm going to go ahead and click Save, and I'll agree. So it says that we're saved right there. Let's click around here for a second and see what else comes up. So I'm going to close this, or actually I'm going to click on channels again real quick. Let's jump to web chat and then back to channels. See that we're running here from Microsoft Teams. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a click, and it's going to open up a new tab for me for Microsoft Teams, even though I had one open here. And we're just going to go ahead and say to use the web app just for brevity. And so now we have the name of our bot right here, Testing Bot 2019. If I go ahead and say hello from Teams, we should get the same thing that happened earlier. Hello and welcome, and then you said something to me. But again, just to show that this is all working, if we go back to the build option, and actually I take that back because we have this file right here. Let's go ahead and change this, and let's change it to say a message was received from MS Teams. That's saved. Let's see how it works in web chat real quick. Say hello. Takes a second sometimes. Message received from MSFT Teams. Come back over here to Teams itself and say hi there. And there we go. I hope you'll join us for our session. This is before the actual conference itself. If it's afterwards, or if this is something that you're kind of using as a walkthrough, then I hope it was helpful for you. If you have any questions, you can find us online. Just reach out. I'm Dominguez at altamontschool.org, or if you want to look on Twitter, it's @_Rob Dominguez. Thanks so much, and we appreciate it.